Meeks of New York joins us tonight, and who is a former prosecutor. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. Your reaction to the news that has unfolded in the last 24 hours, I certainly want to get that, but I want to ask you right up front as we're getting ready to hear the president speak, do you think President Obama should inject himself into this further?
I think that the president has been clear that the attorney general is still conducting an investigation. And so the president can't inject himself while his attorney general is conducting an investigation into this matter. I think
as a former prosecutor, what's troubling to you about McCullough's actions?
You know, it seems to me to be very clear that he did not want an indictment from the very beginning. So he should have recused himself and not gone on with the investigation. Because when you present a case to the grand jury, you're presenting a case to show that there's probable cause to believe a crime was committed and that that person committed the crime. You don't go on for as long as he did, and generally you don't even present all of the evidence. It's just a one-man show, and you ask at the end of the presentation of the evidence to the grand jury for an indictment. In this case, he did not ask for an indictment at the end. He never believed in all of the any of the evidence, and clearly, you know, from his statement tonight, he decided, because he said there was contradictory testimony, and there always is, but he clearly seemed to decide on one side as opposed to the other. So this prosecutor had already made up his mind and utilized the grand jury as a scapegoat for him to rationalize the decision that I believe he had already made before he completed the investigation.
Congressman Meeks, drawing on your experience as a former prosecutor, why is it so hard to indict a police officer?
You know, police officers have a difficult job, but there are certain situations, as this one, I believe, where you have an individual who's unarmed and you have witnesses that will testify that his hand was up, etc., that it should not be that difficult to do that. And I think that's the problem that individuals, especially African Americans, but I would hope that people of all races throughout this country would say has to stop, because police officers and everyone else has to be held accountable for his or her actions. And so it should not be where one abused their authority, a difficult thing for individuals to be indicted.
Do you think the verdict is a result of pervasive racism in America? 9 white jurors and 3 African Americans. Your response?
But my response is this. Have we come a long way on race relations in America? The answer is absolutely yes. Do we still have a long way to go? The answer is absolutely yes. You know, some people thought that when President Obama was elected, that we were then in a post-racial America. No, we are not. Racism is alive and well in the United States of America. Now, I'm not saying, because I do not know what the vote count was in the grand jury in Ferguson, but we have race issues in America that has to be addressed. And that is something that we must continue to work on, and not make a presumption simply because we elected a president who happens to be black that race is no longer an issue in the United States.
All right. Congressman Gregory Meeks in New York, good to have you with us tonight on The Ed Show. I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much.